So talk to them about getting the season's vaccines, because you've still got so much to talk about.
Sounds like you need to vaporize that sore throat. Vapor drops? It's sore throat relief with a rush of Vicks Vapors.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool Drops.
Always dry scoop before you run.
Listen to me. The hot dog diet got me shredded.
It's time we listen to science. One-A-Day is formulated with key nutrients to support whole body health. One-A-Day, science that matters.
What's up? You seem kind of sluggish today.
Things aren't really moving.
You could use some Metamucil.
Metamucil psyllium fiber helps keep your digestive system moving so you can feel lighter and more energetic. Metamucil keeps you moving. And try Fizzing Fiber Plus vitamins.
I love my parents. So as they've gotten older, we've had to have some not so fun conversations about their wishes if something were to happen to them.
As an estate planning attorney, most people that would come to my office were looking to create a will for their family, but many couldn't afford the fees.
That's why we started Trust and Will, a modern and affordable approach to estate planning.
Attorney-designed documents, customized by you, all through an easy-to-use website.
The way a will should be. Find the plan that's right for you at trustandwill.com.
Spotlight, hot nights, glow red at the stoplight. I say, big swerve, big roll, rich taste.
Good way to press the hold, big fella.
So rich, it can make you ill. Don't choke on the diamond pill. Cheap lines,
Yo.
bow down to the golden strand. Get in line.
Yo. All right, there we go.
Come close. Hit your OGs with a can when I can. I will rate with a 1 to 10.
In November 2012, detectives in El Cajon, California are as close as they've ever been to solving the murder of Iraqi immigrant Shema Alawati. More than 7 months earlier, investigators are now all but certain Shema was the victim of domestic violence, and that her husband, 48-year-old Qasim Alamidi, is the killer. The goal now is to keep him talking. Investigators do this by convincing him that they're still probing a number of other suspects.
I think that these are some people of interest that could possibly have some involvement in your wife's murder. Do any of these people look familiar to you? See them around the house, or maybe this?
I would show him photos of different people to make him think all along that
I wanted
we
to throw
were
that one a
still
little
looking at the
earlier,
hate crime
but
part of it.
Have you ever seen
I'll
that
take it.
around?
And why is my running back just so tired?
I never wanted him to know that we were really focusing on him.
But cameras on a middle school around the corner from the family's home now provide the authorities with a detailed account of Qasim's actions on the morning his wife was attacked.
It was a key piece of evidence in this case. His timeline unraveled at that point.
He was originally parked in front of his house. He moved his car the first time at approximately 9:50 in the morning.
The van is immediately reparked around the corner on Emerald Avenue, just 3 houses from the family home. At the same time, Qasim claims he was already on the road.
I believe that he pulled around the corner because he was upset about something and went back to the house. Whether he was trying to kill her or not, I do not know. But I believe that he was angry and went back to that house for a reason.
Despite Qasim's contention that he was out for a drive at this time, cell phone tower records place him back in the house at 10:10 a.m. Approximately 30 minutes later, Shema is typing in her password on her computer when she's caught by surprise.
She's logging onto her Yahoo account when she's hit from behind. She's knocked to the floor, and then she's repeatedly hit about the head at least 5 more times. Part of the way we know that is because of the way the blood was coming off of her.
It doesn't appear that she fought back in any way, shape, or form. She didn't have any real defensive injuries. It appears that the attack was a surprise.
The broken window. Whether that happened as a last-minute thing to make it look like it was an intruder coming in, we don't know. But the evidence suggests that it was broken from the inside.
Authorities say Kasim then drops a hate note in a prominent spot for police to find.
There were several things that suggested strongly that this was a premeditated murder. We believe Mr. Al-Hamidi took the original note that had been found a week to 10 days prior on their front doorstep, made a photocopy of it, and kept it so that he could use it as cover if and when he killed his wife. Because the goal was get away with it, make it look like a hate crime, and don't get caught.
Police are now certain Kasim was the hooded figure spotted by his next-door neighbor. 3 minutes after Shema was attacked, fleeing from the back of the house, cutting across the grass and moving toward Emerald Avenue and the van. The security footage provides detectives with a record of what happened next.
Watching this video, we saw Kasim getting back into the vehicle and then driving away northbound on Emerald. And as we switch to another camera, we see a red minivan go by the school. That is Kasim's minivan. And so at that point, we know that his time frame that he gave us earlier was not correct.
I believe that he was able to get rid of whatever weapon he used when he drove the route he drove.
So everything falls into place. You got that time where you can't.
Detectives are finally confident they have all the evidence they need.
We decided that this case was coming to an end and we were going to pretty much lay our cards down on the table to exactly what we knew. And we were going to let Kasim know what we knew.
That's a bad ball. That's my fault, defense. Hey, let's get a stop.
Investigators called Kasim to the police department and immediately place him under arrest for the murder of his wife.
I believe in any homicide investigation, you have one shot to do it right. I wish this case could have been solved in a week, but unfortunately it took us 8 months to put all the pieces in place to make this arrest.
Thank you.
Kasim never
job,
wavers
defense.
in his insistence that the police are mistaken.
He tell me he's guilty. I tell him why I am guilty. I am not guilty. I am sure not guilty. Every family have a problem in family. But Shema, no need me go. Why? I live my life.
It's nearly a year and a half until Kasim Al-Hamidi goes on trial less than 2 miles from the house where prosecutors say he beat his wife, Shema, to death.
Kasim seemed like he was confident that he was gonna be free. He would laugh, shake his head, and look you straight in the eye like, you know, like he really didn't do anything. He would say hi to you. When we first came in, you know.
But he seems to fall apart when he hears his daughter's 911 call, and Fatima testifies against him.
The record should reflect that the court, I believe the jurors as well, are having a hard time hearing because the defendant is wailing and sobbing. We're going to take a short recess. I'm going to excuse the jurors.
On April 17, 2014, Kasim is found guilty of first-degree murder. The sentence, 26 years to life.
They started yelling, "It wasn't me, it wasn't me, it wasn't me. You guys are, you know, racist. This is the government's work. You guys put this against me," and all of these things.
He's somebody that's never gonna admit his wrongdoing. I see a sense of arrogance on his part. I don't think he thought we were gonna catch him.
The verdict sparks an emotional scene in the courthouse. Kasim's oldest son, Muhammad, shouts out in defense of his father and is pulled from the room and handcuffed.
These 5 kids' mother is gone, and now their father is convicted of murdering her and is essentially out of their lives as well because he's in prison. The criminal justice system can't remedy that. So we have to be satisfied with the fact that we got the best justice we could from the criminal justice system.
What punishment does he deserve?
As much as I can imagine,
It's not enough. I don't think there's anything that can happen to me that could break my heart as much as losing Shayma. The wound will never be healed. All we can do is cry and pray for better days. That's all.
There we go. We got action, guys. Let's go.
When Shayma Alawati immigrated to the United States, she was full of hope. In Southern California, she made a life for herself despite a husband who was unfaithful and in the end,
Great
violent.
play call, coach.
The memories of Shayma comfort her family, along with the newfound understanding that their adopted country could bring them the justice they deserve. When a string of violence hits a small town,
I've never seen a community so frozen and paralyzed with fear.
Everybody was afraid. We had people that were literally afraid to come to work.
is someone out to settle the score.
It came down to we didn't know who was next.
No one does that. It doesn't even happen with the mafia in Italy.
Investigators uncover a shocking hit list
Looked like someone stockpiling firearms for some type of a war.
and a deadly plot.
It was just a level of evil I don't think many could comprehend.
I'm Tamron Hall. I report on a lot of horrific crimes, and when my sister was murdered, crime got personal for me and my family. I understand what it's like to want answers. In telling these stories, I'm looking for more than just how these crimes happen. I want to know why.
It's a fucking dime.
About 30
Let's go.
miles outside Dallas, Kaufman,
Let's
Texas
go.
has
That's
an
a
old
dime.
West feel, rural and sleepy.
That's how you throw
Not
the ball,
much seems
RG.
to happen here. But in early 2013,
And you gotta get out your
this
route a little
small
bit better
town
than
was
that, man.
gripped by fear. A series
I'm
of murders,
I'm
targeted
late on the
killings
throw because I'm waiting
left
on
the
you. You
entire
got all the
community
room in the
on
world.
edge, wondering
I'm
who
getting
could be
hit.
harboring
Damn,
such
good
a
throw.
deadly grudge, and who
Hell of a throw.
might be next.
Hell of a throw, Arch.
It's a chilly Thursday morning on January 31st, 2013, and Mark Hasse, one of Kaufman County's leading prosecutors, makes his routine drive to work. At 57, Mark is a bachelor whose passion is flying small planes. It's a hobby he's kept up despite a near-fatal crash more than a decade ago.
Plane crash wasn't very bad. He suffered catastrophic brain damage. He went through the recovery process. He wanted to try cases again. He wanted to be back in a courtroom.
30 years of experience as a prosecutor in Dallas and Kaufman County, Mark has made a successful career going after bad guys.
Mark loved the law. It wasn't just a career for him, it was an avocation. It was just something he loved. I think that's why he was so good at it.
With some 300 ongoing cases, Mark's got a lot on his mind.
He would not shy away or be deterred from a difficult case. People admired him because they saw a fighter in the courtroom who was not going to back down.
In court, he was very definite, he was very confident, he knew what he was doing, and it showed.
Local attorney Linda Bush is pulling into the parking lot
That's a gimme.
when she notices
That's an
something
easy
odd.
Out. That's an easy
I see one person
out,
coming from
Arch.
the courthouse. He
You
was
gotta hit
dressed
that. Come on.
in a strange way. He had a
We need plays. Come
covered
on.
his face. He had a large black jacket, and there was no skin showing. You could not tell anything about him.
The hooded person is walking straight toward
We
Mark
need
Hasse.
plays. Come on. On the ball.
Person
On the
confronted
ball.
him.
On the ball. On the ball.
Shoved him. There was some conversation, which I couldn't hear.
But then, the struggle takes a horrible turn.
The person put his
Oh,
gun
y'all
to
gotta keep
Mark's
that double
neck
team,
and
man.
shot
Keep him. Keep him.
In the heart of Kaufman,
Please keep him on the double
broad
team.
daylight, right in front of witnesses, prosecutor Mark Hasse is gunned down.
Kaufman County 911, what's your emergency?
Fucking great
Someone
play.
just shot someone by the courthouse. His name
Time is running. Come on. Come on.
It looked like he had freckles, but of course it wasn't freckles. It was blood splatter on his face. breaths as a result of the CPR, but he wasn't responsive. I just didn't want him to be there all by himself.
As Linda tries to keep Mark Hasse alive, police arrive. One of the officers takes over chest compressions. His dashboard camera captures the battle to save Mark's life.
There you go, buddy. Keep breathing for me.
We had information coming in, so it's time to go to work.
Given that this was in broad daylight, did you think this person didn't care if they were seen?
Well, to me, it was somebody's making a statement, because it was just the craziest time of day that you could imagine somebody to do this.
How was that for you once you realized that it's Mark?
You know, once I realized it was Mark, it was shocking.
It was unbelievable that that crime of this nature occurred in a small town of Kaufman, Texas.
Hasse's rushed to the hospital, but even a fighter like Mark doesn't stand a chance. He succumbs.
I'm over here cooking on a play call. Come on.
Some breaking news out of North Texas in Kaufman County where
the prosecutor's murder immediately makes national headlines. Hasse's boss, District Attorney Mike McClellan, is devastated by the loss of his deputy.
They had a away from the office relationship. You know, they were buddies.
Mike McClellan had the same personality. He was focused, he was determined. I think they had a very strong bond.
McClellan delivers a bold Texas-style message to the killers.
We're very confident. Getting hit. Come on,
we're gonna find you.
Come on,
one more play.
We gotta go for it.
What the fuck is we doing? The people of Kaufman County prosecute you.
What happened? Why we didn't get no points?
I can't say my dad was real emotional. I mean, we all knew what, you know, he was a guy's guy, but you know, and I think to divert a lot of that stuff, he dove into finding out who did this to my friend.
Do you know how McClellan handled the death of his deputy?
He took it very, very hard, very personal.
Everything anybody can think of, they're looking through it.
Though McClellan is desperate to solve the murder, his close friendship with Hasse forces him to turn over the investigation. Two of Dallas's top legal minds are asked to serve as special prosecutors.
Got a call about 10 o'clock from one of the prosecutors out in Kaufman. And once the shock wore off, you know, your professionalism kicks in. I said, you guys are probably going to need special prosecutors. Toby and I would really like to help you guys out.
They are not the only ones coming to the aid of this shocked community. Within the next few days, hundreds of federal agents join local law enforcement searching for leads.
You saw literally 50 Texas Rangers running around, which was pretty surreal looking, and about 50 FBI agents, ATF agents, Kaufman Sheriff's officers, Kaufman police officers. It was organized chaos.
An all-points bulletin goes out for what witnesses describe as two people wearing all black fleeing the courthouse in a brown or silver sedan. The investigating teams begin looking for possible motives, professional or personal.
You start in that circle of family, close friends, and then you expand out. But Mark was a single man. He has his brother and his mother.
They can't find anything even remotely suspicious in Hasse's personal life.
But we kicked the one at the end. What happened to the other two?
His reputation in the legal community was just A+. No one ever accused him of any wrongdoing.
Now I gotta go to the kicking stats. If the nigga only kicked one
Friends say
field goal,
work
I'm gonna
consumed
be pissed
most
off
of
because I
Mark's
wasn't
time.
in on them fourth
I
down
think
plays.
that was almost his hobby. He was a lawyer all the time.
In court, Hasse had a reputation.
Yeah, and it's 2 plays. I'm cooking on
He
the
was
play
one of the
call.
prosecutors, the young
Audible
DAs
to the
would go
motherfuckers.
watch so they could learn
And it's fair,
watch
but I'm
his
getting hit.
tactics. Very aggressive. He's a little guy, but he had a big, loud voice, and he liked getting in the defendant's face.
Was the murder an act of revenge for one of Mark's old cases?
It had to be work-related. It had to be somebody that he had prosecuted who was taking his revenge on Mark, and it was shocking.
They were pulling his files, you know, from his office. Everything was being looked at.
During his career, Hasse brought
missed-
legions of dangerous
two
criminals
missed
to
field goals.
justice. Mobsters, leaders of feared drug cartels, and
But he
murderers.
make the one from 54.
Even a
2
corrupt
missed
judge.
field goals.
We had cases, very important cases.
Mega leg
where
ability.
People had died, or where tremendous amounts
Field
of
flip
narcotics
ability.
were flowing into the United States.
And chip shot.
And there is one group particularly violent and ruthless that piques
And he
some
goes-
investigators' interest.
1 for 3. If he
Aryan
hit them 2
Brotherhood of
field goals, we win the game.
A
By 2
white
points.
supremacist prison gang with a credo founded on hatred. And Hasse had fearlessly gone after them.
We've dealt with Aryan Brotherhood, whether it be drug dealing, dealing in stolen property. We've had some Aryan Brotherhood shootings in our county. They're very dangerous.
Only recently, the Kaufman DA's office
Defense
helped
played
investigate
their
the
ass
crimes
off,
of
only
this
107
notorious
total
group.
yards of offense.
What's more, a day before Mark Hasse's murder,
Fucking pick.
the Brotherhood issued a warning.
That's my fault. I was getting hit though. Like,
There was a circular that had gone out saying,
we still
hey,
gonna be in the
members of law
playoff.
enforcement, be careful.
We
The Aryan
should.
Brotherhood
That was
may
for
be
the
dangerous,
one of the top
maybe
4
looking to
teams
hurt
right
someone
there.
in law enforcement.
I don't have a trust for you. I just don't. These feuds. That's ignorant. That's not ignorant. Are on fire.
The vibe is a little off between me and Anthony.
Some
Here we
bullshit.
go again.
Love and Marriage Detroit season finale Saturday 8/7 Central.
The last time we were together, things went haywire.
The collective needs to be corrected. What the hell is a collective correction? Let's get this show on the road.
When viruses and bacteria from outside follow them inside, parents know it's time to go into protect mode. For your cleaning routine, adding Lysol disinfectant spray is 3 times more effective at stopping the spread of germs. And for your laundry, adding Lysol laundry sanitizer kills 99.9% of bacteria detergent leaves behind. Lysol, what it takes to protect.
Cheese and fruit and crackers. Cheese and fruit and crackers. Cheese and fruit and crackers. Come and get yourself some Golden Club crackers. Wow.
Dupixent can help people with asthma breathe better in as little as 2 weeks. So this is better, even this. Dupixent is an add-on treatment for specific types of moderate to severe asthma. That's not for sudden breathing problems. Dupixent can cause allergic reactions that can be severe. Tell your doctor right away if you have rash, chest pain, worsening shortness of breath, tingling, or numbness in your limbs. Tell your doctor about new or worsening joint aches and pain or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines, including steroids, without talking to your doctor. Ask your specialist about Dupixent.
I was stuck. Unresolved depression symptoms were in my way. I needed more from my antidepressant. Vraylar helped give it a lift.
Adding Vraylar to an antidepressant is clinically proven to help relieve overall depression symptoms better than an antidepressant alone. And in Vraylar clinical studies, most saw no substantial impact on weight. Elderly dementia patients have increased risk of death or stroke, report unusual changes in behavior or suicidal thoughts. Antidepressants can increase these in children and young adults, report fever, stiff muscles, or confusion, as these may be life-threatening, or uncontrolled muscle movements, which may be permanent. High blood sugar, which can lead to coma or death, weight gain, and high cholesterol may occur. Movement dysfunction and restlessness are common side effects. Stomach and sleep issues, dizziness, increased appetite, and fatigue are also common. Side effects may not appear for several weeks.
I didn't have to change my treatment. I just gave it a lift.
Ask about Vraylar and learn how AbbVie can help you save.
Hair buckle bears. Ooh, I love these. The one where I chew it, the fruitier and fruitier it gets. Oh, I'm gonna sit this one out. It tastes too good.
This is a Cottonelle toilet paper service announcement. Your toilet paper leaving you with an unclean feeling you can't shake? You deserve Cottonelle Ultra Clean and Flushable Wipes. Together, Cottonelle Ripples clean even better, so you feel clean as
I go to my stats to see what I got.
I'm the team mascot, and boy am I running late. But I got lead in my foot and spirit in my fingers.
Okay, Eli. I like it, Eli. Good job, kid.
Might tank your season. So get all safe. Save money on auto insurance and be protected from mayhem, like me. Woo!
Number 3, Oregon. Let's
Take 5,
go
stay in your car
against
because
Boise. We lost
we're
against them
faster
earlier
than
in the
you
year, I
think.
believe. But I gotta go
Oil
double
change
check
is
that.
done, but I didn't have time to fix
And it's
my
crazy we
garage
played them
stove.
again, but I'm finna go double check that.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Take 5 to stay in your car, 10-minute oil change.
Can you hear it? Echoes of that golden age of travel in the Palm Beaches. Vibrant coastal towns from Jupiter to Boca Raton create the finest Florida vacation experience for every member of the family to enjoy. We invite you to come, experience the unexpected, where America's first resort destination was built and genuine hospitality is a way of life. We are the original, the one, the only, the Palm Beaches.
At Take 5, you stay in your car
I gotta
because
get the damn
we're faster than you
interceptions
think.
now. Look at that shit.
Oil change is done,
20.
but I didn't have time to fix my garage
What the
stove.
fuck? I mean, it's getting better.
Gotta do what you gotta
Fuck
do.
that. Look at
Take
that.
5 to stay in your car,
Think
10-minute
about how many
oil change.
more yards I could have if I don't throw them interceptions.
Mark Hasse, a Texas prosecutor, was gunned down in an attack that bears the markings of a professional hit. A team
8
of
more
special
completions
investigators assigned to the case
on 7 more
suspect it's
attempts.
a revenge killing
Or
by
6
some
more
criminal
attempts.
or gang
That is
Hasse
crazy.
put away. Hasse's
60%
case files
versus
read like a list
58%.
of who's who in crime, but one group stands out.
I was throwing more. It was a lot, like a lot of close games, so I wasn't really throwing. I was trying to run the ball.
A possible group that was involved in this because of their violence.
The vicious gang has a menacing and potent following inside Texas
Oh
prisons.
yeah, nah, we beat their ass earlier.
On the outside, the Brotherhood has evolved into a feared
We lost
criminal
against
enterprise,
Maryland, I remember
taking
that.
a claim to Kaufman
Yeah, that was
County's
tough.
lucrative
That's a
meth
bad loss.
business. In 2012,
And then
Hesse
losing the
and the
Big Ten
Kaufman DA
championship
office
game.
helped to bring down 30 of the group's top leaders.
Close game, close game.
All 5
close
active
game,
generals
close
have been
game,
prosecuted,
close game,
convicted,
close game.
and will spend long sentences in federal prison. The majors have been taken out. The former founding
I had
member
one-
has been
one
found
blowout.
guilty. So this really is the decapitation of this gang.
In return, the Brotherhood promised there would be a price to pay. And now it looks like they may have delivered on the threat. A month and a half after Hasse's killing, 600 miles away
Threw for
from Colorado,
405 and 6 of them
a
bitches week 1.
58-year-old man named Tom
Went
Clements gets
crazy.
an unexpected delivery.
Went crazy. 64%, 16 for 25 for 405.
Clements is the
It's
chief of the
crazy
state's
work.
prison system.
What happened? Wear and tear?
Yes, can I help you? I don't want a pizza instead.
Clements is shot dead by a man posing as a pizza delivery guy. Some investigating Hasse's murder can't help but think the killing
How
in
do I-
Colorado must be linked to the Texas prosecutor's murder.
We were shocked, just like the Hasse murder. Was that something to do with his job?
Clements was known for cracking down on prison gangs. Was the Aryan Brotherhood keeping its promise to take down officials who got in their
Ain't
way?
even run for 1,000.
A
Y'all about to get
nationwide
hurt.
manhunt for the is launched. 2 days later,
And
not
that's
far from
crazy.
Kaufman,
That's
Texas,
only
a sheriff's deputy spots a car matching the description of that seen speeding off
89, 90,
Tom
190
Clements' home.
carries on the season. The
He pulls the
Neil,
black
the
Cadillac
Saxon
over.
shit, that shit don't really count.
Miraculously,
Kneel
despite
downs
getting
and
shot
sacks.
in the face, he
Shit don't really
survived.
count.
The routine traffic stop turns into a terrifying high-speed chase, ending only when the Cadillac crashes into an 18-wheeler. The driver opens fire on the officers, and they fire back.
I mean, obviously he was our number one. He was our red zone threat as tight
Evan
end.
Spencer Ebel killed
But I
in the
mean, overall, I
shootout
spread
with
the
an
ball
ex-con
around.
and a known member of a
38
white
catches.
supremacist
That's
prison
99.
gang called the
Yeah, that's on
211
99.
Crew.
Yeah, I ain't even know he was a
Ebel
90
was
overall.
paroled and released from prison just a few days before Hasse's killing. Even more
Oh,
troubling,
yeah,
in his
seniors.
car, the officers discover a notebook,
Oh,
the hit list,
no.
20 more targets. All cops and prosecutors.
81? Okay, yeah,
Many
he was
can't
decent
help
when he
but think
came
if
in here.
Ebel
Did
is
his thing.
Hasse's killer, he got the justice he deserved. But it turns
We
out
gonna
Hasse's
be young
name
next
isn't
year,
on
so
Ebel's
we
list.
gotta win this bitch
And
right now
soon
for these
ballistics
niggas.
concludes
Let's go.
the gun found in Ebel's car wasn't used to
Let's
kill the Texas
go.
prosecutor. While evidence implicates Ebel in the murder of Tom Clements in Colorado, investigators can't link him to Mark Hassey's slaying. In fact, there's little evidence to make a case against anyone in Mark Hassey's murder.
What did that get you to thinking? I mean, here you have a small town.
Elite recruiter,
everyone
so let's see what happens for next season.
everyone,
'Cause I'm
and
coming
there's
back,
nothing
baby.
It was very frustrating for
We
us.
gonna
We
send
just didn't
practice
know
because
what
of Boise
direction we
State,
were going to go.
and we are going to.
With no arrests made, Kaufman's legal community remains on edge.
Oh, I graduated. Fire.
We had people in this.
So I ain't got to worry about that no more. So I can let me get some fans.
DA Mike
I got a
McClellan is
million
concerned for his
fans.
staff.
I got a million
He felt he was
fans.
responsible for each and every one of them. You know, he felt that that was his office, those were his people. He was in charge of them, but he was also responsible for them.
Attacks on U.S. prosecutors are rare. Still, no one in Kaufman wants to take a chance, and security for the DA's
I got a
staff
million
is stepped up,
fans.
including
Let's
Mike
go.
He had protection, you know, but I don't know that he really wanted that. He had that army mentality that I can take care of myself.
All right, let's get this
And,
work
that's
at
probably
home.
how he approached
What unis we want to wear?
The Gulf War combat veteran
What we
insists
rocking,
he's not too
gang?
concerned
What
about
we
his own
rocking,
safety.
gang? The gang
My dad
green.
wasn't one to worry. I mean, he wasn't one to dwell on
all
anything negative
black with the
or
chrome lick.
anything that might happen to him.
At home. The black
Behind
with the
the
gray
scenes,
with the chrome.
McClellan steers investigators to focus on who he thinks
black
is
with the
responsible
green.
for Hassey's murder.
Fire.
And it's not white supremacists.
Mike pretty well knew from the very beginning who he thought committed the murder of Mark Hassey. And
I'ma rock
whenever
the
he
all
would be
green.
on television, and he would
Yeah.
speak directly.
We ain't
into the
wore
camera.
this.
I hope
We ain't wore
that
this.
the
I
people
fuck
that
with
did
it.
this are watching.
Boise State.
And he knew exactly,
Put your
in
blue
my
pants
opinion,
on.
who he was talking to.
I don't have a trust for you. I just don't.
These feuds.
That's ignorant.
That's not ignorant. Are on
The
fire.
vibe was a little off between me and Anthony.
Here we go again.
Love and Marriage Detroit season finale Saturday 8/7 Central.
Why do dermatologists worldwide recommend La Roche-Posay? Effective skincare like La Roche-Posay Double Repair Face Moisturizer delivers double action to help repair skin's barrier and provide 48-hour hydration for healthy-looking skin. La Roche-Posay.
Some days you can feel like a spectator in your own life with chronic migraine. 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more.
Let's go,
Botox
Ducks.
prevents headaches
Let's
in
go,
adults with chronic
Ducks.
migraine
Let's
before they
go,
start.
Ducks.
And treatment is 4 times a year.
A playoff game at the Cribbo,
91% of
Alson,
users will start sooner.
rockin'. Let's
So why
go.
wait? Talk to your doctor.
Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, and medications.
Let's
including
lock in, O.
botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious
What
side
we got?
effects.
Chronic migraine may still keep you from being there. Why wait? Talk to your doctor about Botox and get in the
Good
picture.
job.
Learn how
Good
acne
job,
can help you
78.
save.
Oh, you don't know? It's fire. That topping dropping, that perfect sauce and those flavors popping. Fire. That family snagging.
Welcome to my channel.
That beauty hacking. Greek yolk. Fire. Nothing plain about it.
Yeah, move the meeting.
Hey, Mike, what's good, man? How do we show up as our whole self?
Yeah, that's how you work a double team right there. Little punch at the next level, you good.
With tech that helps us put everything we are into everything we do.
You made that look easy.
Recode your future with the tech-forward and tech-ready Lexus NX.
Here's Liz, whose bladder leaks drop in uninvited. But instead of period pads, she brought Poise Ultra Thin, so she can bounce on with clean, dry, fresh protection from Poise.
Bye, honey.
Morning breath, huh?
Dr. Garcia? Oh.
That's millions of bacteria growing overnight.
Crest Pro Health helps prevent oral health
31
issues
made a
before
play.
they start.
Crest.
Or 51, 41, 41 made a play. 30. I know I want you.
If I could be you, you could be me for just 1 hour. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes.
If I was to describe this sandwich in one word, I would say magical. Hi, this is Jamor, and the little thing that I love about the Chick-fil-A honey pepper pimento chicken sandwich is that extra oomph. I go back and forth from the spicy filet to the original filet.
I threw it straight to him. That's my fault. That's my fault. That's a bad read. I take that. That's on me.
And then you also have the spice of the jalapeno peppers. The combination alone.
I'ma fuck around. Sell this game for us. Let me lock
No
in.
customer paid for their testimonial.
Right. He held off the left.
Donating
Which
pet food
means
can
they
keep
might go
families
cover
together.
one. We could do that.
Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
6 weeks after
Good
Mark
fucking
Hasse
catch.
was gunned down in broad daylight here in Kaufman, Texas,
Can't
no
guard you,
arrests
kid.
been made. Local judges and prosecutors were living in fear. And while many were convinced that white supremacists were behind the brutal assassination, District Attorney Mike McClellan had his own idea as to who wanted his close friend dead, yet no way of knowing how soon he would be face to face with the killer. McClellan suspected all along the killer is someone much closer to home.
He was probably eating his guts, but he was professional enough to know that you can't just go in there and start arresting people on a hunch. You just had to have the proof.
The man McClellan wants investigators to look at is not a white supremacist. He's a former
Come on,
colleague.
Arch. We need a drive, baby. We need a drive,
Baby-faced
Arch.
Eric
Let's go.
Williams is a lawyer known for his
Let's
work
go, O.
with families and children.
So mix it, mix it.
The 45-year-old lives in Kaufman with his wife, Kim.
We'll take 6
In
yards.
2010, Williams was elected to office.
We will take 6
First met Eric on
yards.
the campaign trail at different events.
Let's
I
see
heard
what
about
it
him.
looked like.
Very smart
Let's
fellow.
see what it look.
Williams
Let's
serves
see
as
what
a
it look
justice
like.
of the peace in
Let's see
Kaufman
what
County.
it look.
Like other JPs, he rules on minor
We
civil
got
cases
action. We
and
got
punishes drunk
action.
drivers.
We got
A
action.
former captain
We
and a
got
weapons
action.
instructor with the Texas State Guard, he's often seen riding his Segway through town.
How would you describe Eric Williams?
Eric was always
Let's go.
just very quiet and cordial,
We
kind of
promise.
standoffish.
Maybe I
Everything
can
that I'd
do
seen with Eric
that.
was
Let's see
very
what they do.
business and very
Let's see what they do.
just
How about you?
straight man.
Do
It
that.
comes as a shock when one Sunday in the
Yeah.
spring of 2011,
Check it
Williams was caught
out.
on a security
Oh.
camera carrying 3 brand new
I got
computer
it out.
monitors out of his county office to his car.
Anything that's in your pocket, Judge?
When
Oh,
officers
that's about to be the
questioned
2
him,
minute.
he seems puzzled.
2 minute. It's gonna be the 2 minutes. Let's run some mesh.
Claims
Mesh.
it's a
Say it.
misunderstanding.
Say it.
I just always felt
Nope.
like Eric was the kind of person that thought he was the one that knew what was right and he would do whatever it took
Get
to
some
get it.
yards. Run some mesh.
It's a
What?
big scandal.
Incomplete? Come on, bro. You gotta catch
He
them.
was the justice of the peace.
on.
And for someone
They got a few yards.
citizens
You-
have
you
elected to
bullshit,
steal
shorty.
from them, they want justice served.
Though just a misdemeanor, DA Mike McClellan is determined to
fucking
stamp
ball.
out corruption in the county.
Good
He
ball,
assigns
back
his top
shoulder.
prosecutor, Mark Hasse,
Go,
to
good
the
way to go
case.
get it, kid.
The prosecution offers Williams a deal to save him the public embarrassment.
He would have.
Way to go get it, kid. You took a hit. Thank you
But he refused to.
for catching that ball.
After he turned that
Let's
off.
let's tighten you down
That's
a
when it
little
became
bit. And come here.
After Williams
And
rejects
reset.
the offer,
Second.
Hasse goes after him.
Fuck him
He discovers
up.
this wasn't the JP's only
Fuck
brush
him
with the wrong
up.
side
Let's
of the law.
go.
Earlier in his career, Eric Williams worked as a court coordinator and was caught
Let's put the
and
ball in the
convicted
box,
for padding
baby.
his bill.
Let's go.
Then Hasse hears
Run
from a
that.
former girlfriend of Williams.
You got work.
She says that when she
No,
tried to
you
break up
don't.
with him,
Ah,
initially
he wide
he seemed
open.
to
Look at
accept
him.
it.
He wide open. Fucking run the ball. God.
Months later, she was out with colleagues.
She remembers she and some of her girlfriends went to a kind of a bar, sports bar type. And there Eric Williams was standing, and tapped her on the shoulder and asked her to come talk to him for a minute.
Good. How are you?
He wanted her to sit down and have dinner with him.
Oh, no, I'm with my friend now.
He told her in a very cool manner, you know I have a gun on me, and if you turn around and walk away, I'm going to kill you. Her friend sensed what was going on and then took her by the elbow and
that shit open. Fuck me.
she turned back.
Kick the
and
ball.
Eric Williams was gone.
Another witness tells the court about death threats he's heard Williams making.
Get this shit.
At trial, Hassie tells the jury
Thankfully, we
Williams
get
is
the
not
ball
only
back.
an elected
Alright, come
official
on.
who's betrayed the
Let's
public
do
trust
this.
by stealing
We got a
Peter's
slight
monitor,
advantage on
but
this,
he's also a dangerous man who's
let's
got to go to prison.
It was an overwhelming case. They had him on videotape. The jury didn't take long to convict him.
Let's see what
He was
that
given the
look like.
minimum sentence of 2 years probation.
The conviction for burglary and theft
Let's see what that looked
ends
like.
Williams's law career.
The trial became very, very bitter.
Bitter in what way? Words exchanged?
Words exchanged. If you were to look at the transcript of the trial, you would see how personal it became. There was no doubt that there was a lot of animosity between the defense and the prosecution.
9 months later, Eric Williams may have had a motive, but even if the meek-looking former public official was bold enough to kill, did he really have the means to commit cold-blooded murder? Mike McClellan thinks so.
I'll assure you that if Mike McClellan could have found any evidence whatsoever to have Eric Williams locked up, he would have.
But investigators can't even talk to him.
Eric, got a moment? He had lawyered up and
Get up the
didn't
field,
want to talk to
man.
us.
Get up the field.
Usually you'll send
Get up the
investigators
field.
will go and,
What are you
and
doing?
they'll, engage a suspect, try to interview him. And in this case, they were prevented from doing that.
Ironically, Williams's in-laws live across the road from the task force headquarters in
This
Crosslake.
should fuck him up.
From the house, he could have seen the comings and goings of investigators all day long. On Good Friday, almost 2 months after the murder of Mark
I'd have been
Hassie,
sick had he
the
not
task
caught the
force
ball.
breaks for Easter. They still haven't publicly named a suspect. Not far away in the town of Forney,
They
D.A.
catching that,
McClellan
John.
and his wife, Cynthia, are looking forward to spending the weekend with family and friends.
I was actually supposed to go to Kaufman and meet them Saturday night.
The McClellans' security detail is relieved for the holiday.
Mom, it's me again.
On Saturday evening, Mike McClellan's stepdaughter, Christina, tries to reach her mother and the DA. She hasn't heard from them since last night, which is very unusual, especially on a holiday weekend.
Where are you? What's going on? Mom, it's me again.
Hey, it's me, your dry skin. I'm craving something we're missing. The ceramides in CeraVe. CeraVe with 3 essential ceramides helps restore my natural barrier so I can lock in moisture and we can feel it long after. CeraVe moisturizers.
Oh, you don't know? It's fire, that on my way, that every day, that protein, A, fire, that tasting great, that working late. Greek yogurt.
It's a fucking dot. There we go, Dickie. There we go, Dickie. 9-9. Put it in the box, kid. Put it in the box, kid.
Purina Cares here.
Military veteran and USAA member Sam Elliott. I'm Grok, your new roommate.
Roommate?
Mm-hmm. Wow. I've been trying to join USAA for years.
Brock, you know it's for the military community and their families.
I know I can't join, but I could live in your house and ride in your truck. Both USAA insured. Roomie.
Roomie. USAA, auto, home,
17.
life, and bank.
Depend keeps you drier than ever, so you can say yes to more than ever.
I won't. I ain't fuck it.
Depend.
What
The
I
only
like,
thing stronger than us is
triangle,
you.
square,
It's time to shift
corner.
seasons in style at
That's what I
Macy's
like.
Fab Fall Sale.
I
where
think
you'll
we
save
got
up to
a
60% on all your fall
touchdown.
favorites and
Oh,
this
city
season's best
captain.
finds. Even better, take an
He
extra
got
20%
the ball.
off starting
What?
Wednesday at Macy's.
My mental health was better, but uncontrollable movements called TD, tardive dyskinesia.
He
started
caught the
disrupting my day.
ball.
TD felt
They
embarrassing.
ain't gonna show the replay.
I felt like disconnecting.
I asked my doctor about treating my TD and learned about Ingrezza.
Ingrezza is clinically proven for reducing TD. Most people saw results in just 2 weeks. People taking Ingrezza can stay on most mental health meds. #1 prescribed Ingrezza has simple dosing for TD. Always one pill once daily. Ingrezza can cause depression, suicidal thoughts, or actions in patients with Huntington's disease. Pay close attention to and call your doctor if you become depressed, have sudden changes in mood, behaviors, feelings, or have thoughts of suicide. Don't take Ingrezza if you're allergic to its ingredients. Ingrezza may
I
cause
don't know what
serious side
happened right
effects,
there, but
including
I will
angioedema,
take
potential heart rhythm
it.
problems, and abnormal
Why was I not in the
Report
game?
fevers, stiff muscles, or problems thinking, as these may be life-threatening.
What
Sleepiness
happened?
is the most common side effect.
Take control by asking your doctor about Ingrezza.
We must have went Wildcat or something.
Always dry scoop before you run. Listen to me. The hot dog diet got me shredded.
It's time we listen to science. One A Day is formulated with key nutrients to support whole body health. One A Day, science that matters.
Olive Garden's never-ending pasta bowl is back. Now with our new garlic herb sauce, which means the never-ending pasta you crave isn't just back, it's better than ever. Never-ending pasta bowl, starting at $13.99 for a limited time.
Remember this? Can't believe we didn't always wear sunscreen.
Let's not regret our sunny memories.
Let's do something about it.
Number 7's Future Renew Serum reverses visible signs of sun damage with a world-first peptide technology. Number 7, don't regret, just reverse.
Get off the double team and go block the linebackers. Get off the double team and go block the linebacker.
Here we go again.
Love and Marriage Detroit season finale Saturday 8/7 Central.
The last time we were together, things went haywire. The collective needs to be corrected.
What the hell is a collective correction?
Let's get this show on the road.
It's Easter weekend
There we
in
go, Casper.
2013. After 2 months of tension in Kaufman following the murder of prosecutor Mark Cassie, everyone is finally taking a break. Something isn't right. No one's heard from D.A. McClelland and his wife, Cynthia, for almost 24 hours. Worried, close friends of the couple decide to go and check on the house. They walk in on a horrific scene. Cynthia and Mike have been shot multiple times.
My aunt called him. She said your dad and Cynthia had been shot. Said she didn't know any more information, just that they'd been killed.
Dozens of investigators respond to the crime scene.
When you got to the home, what was that scene like?
There was just law enforcement everywhere. There were people everywhere. It was very chaotic. And once I made my way into the house, I mean, chaotic doesn't even describe what I saw in there. So it was something I'll never forget, for sure.
Cynthia is lying in a pool of blood in the entrance to the living room. It appears Mike ran out in his slippers in an attempt to get away from the killers. There was no escaping.
You could see, shell casings on the floor. Based on the amount of rounds that were fired, we felt pretty confident it was someone entered that house with the specific goal of committing murder.
The McClellans were taken by surprise.
It appeared that
Again,
they were
my defense
awakened
played their
out of
ass
bed
off.
by either someone coming in their house
Almost
doorbell
sold it
ringing,
for us,
but they weren't dressed for
we scored some points somehow. Shit,
Another member of law enforcement has been targeted in the safety of his own home with his wife.
I remember seeing the news footage and seeing all of the law enforcement people almost stunned, doing their work, but seeing these faces of just disbelief.
we kept asking the same thing. How did this happen? How could this happen? You know, what is going on? We didn't know who was next.
Ooh, Colorado in the quarterfinal.
Shaken up. You had the elected
Let's
DA murdered in his home with his wife. That was unprecedented. And that led to a whole new level of fear.
Shock soon turns to terror. Nobody wants to comment on the tragedy for fear they might be targeted next.
I've never seen a community so frozen and paralyzed with fear.
Ma'am, can we ask you how you're doing this morning?
There were officers in full tactical gear with automatic weapons. There were snipers up on the roof.
Later that week, under heavy security, thousands joined the McClellan family in an emotional memorial service to mourn the loving and inseparable couple.
Well, they were two different people, personality-wise. I remember saying that only God could have put those two together.
They were, I think they called it a mismatched made in heaven. Cynthia was a quilter, and my dad was a weapons expert. His trips to the gun shop, she went quilting. Those were the two things they didn't do with each other.
NBC's Gabe Gutierrez is in Kaufman, Texas for us this morning. Gabe, good morning to you.
Again, the story shoots straight to the headlines all over the world, increasing the pressure to solve the string of killings.
This entire community is on high alert.
We had to get this investigation rolling. We were hoping that now that it's reached this level, this person could be captured before he struck again.
Investigators are left with one clue. Security cameras captured a suspicious white car cruising through the McClellan's neighborhood in the early morning hours of Saturday, March 30th. 3 murders in Kaufman, Texas in 60 days, and still no suspects have officially been identified. But away from the public eye, investigators believe that Hassie and the McClellans were targeted by the same killers.
Obviously, I didn't want to, connect them immediately because that wouldn't be the wise thing to do, but you couldn't help but wonder if they weren't connected.
Then, a mysterious email to Kaufman's Crime Stoppers tip line confirms their suspicion. The anonymous writer takes credit for both murders and threatens to kill other officials.
The tipster put some very specific information in about the Hassie murder. So we knew at that point we were probably dealing with the real murderer.
Mike McClellan and Mark Hassie had one enemy in common, someone who's been on investigators' radar for a while.
Because Eric Williams was the common denominator, we did an in-depth background investigation of him, talked to friends, family members, associates, found out a lot more about him.
They learned that Williams could be even more dangerous than they thought.
The more we found out about him, the more he fit the profile of the type of psychopath we were looking for.
Someone who would kill in cold blood, calculating, kill for revenge, kill without remorse.
When they try again to interview him, the former justice of the peace remains evasive.
We had been in negotiations with his lawyers so we could get an alibi from him and either include him or exclude him finally, one way or another.
But he doesn't seem to shy away from the media cameras. Quite the opposite. It appears he's relishing the attention.
Did you bear either of those men any kind of grudge?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely. My heartfelt condolences go out to both the McClellan family and the Hassie family.
Toby and I saw those interviews on TV and we both had the exact reaction. That's our guy. He was proclaiming his innocence, but everything about him just looked guilty. And we thought Eric Williams has to be our murderer. He has to be our man.
Investigators' lucky break comes when Williams' lawyer suddenly decides to drop him as a client. They make their move.
With his type of ego and his type of personality, it would be difficult for him not to try to talk his way out of something.
2 officers go to Williams' home for a knock and talk. They carry a hidden recorder.
How you doing? Good. How you doing?
Good morning, doctor. Ask a few questions. Very casual, laughing with them, answering their questions, kind of joked around with them about, he had told them he had sold all his guns.
You don't have any more? I have one gun I'm trying to sell, and it's just hard as hell to sell.
They're pretty certain he's lying.
They come out of that thinking we have to write a search warrant.
The following day, teams of investigators descend on Eric Williams' home.
We had to cordon off the neighborhood. The media is going crazy. The helicopters are up in the air. And it was just a long day, but it was still an exciting day. We felt like we were finally making progress in solving these murders.
Soon they make an important discovery, a title to a white Crown Victoria. It's the car they've been looking for. The same one security cameras caught driving through the McClellan's neighborhood the morning of the murders.
One of the FBI agents ran out to me, and they had done kind of a quick search of his computer, and he came up and said, "Mr. Worski, I don't mean to alarm you, but Eric Williams has been searching you and Mr. Shook on his computer." I'm thinking to myself, well, if there's any way we can put Eric Williams in jail tonight, we're going to do it.
Then, another agent notices a Post-it note, scribbled on it, a username and a password for the Crime Stoppers website.
We're quickly able to determine that Eric Williams was the source of those tips and those threats. And based on that, that allowed us to put him in jail that night.
Investigators know Eric Williams had a bitter grudge against two of the victims. But they still can't prove the former Justice of the Peace is indeed the killer.
We all slept a lot better that night, knowing that he was locked up. The next morning, my cell phone went off, and a man introduced himself and said, "Mr. Worski, I need to tell you I rented a storage unit for Eric Williams." And I said, "Okay, we need to talk, and we need to talk right now."
Why do dermatologists worldwide recommend La Roche-Posay? Effective skincare like La Roche-Posay Double Repair Face Moisturizer delivers double action to help repair skin's barrier and provide 48-hour hydration for healthy-looking skin. La Roche-Posay.
Oh, you don't know? It's Faye, that movie feat. Taste can't be beat. That late night treat. Faye, that straight tugging, that feeling right. Get every bite. Greek yogurt. Faye, nothing plain about it.
Dupixent can help people with asthma breathe better in as little as 2 weeks. So this is better, even this. Dupixent is an add-on treatment for specific types of moderate to severe asthma. It's not for sudden breathing problems. Dupixent can cause allergic reactions that can be severe. Tell your doctor right away if you have rash, chest pain, worsening shortness of breath, tingling, or numbness in your limbs. Tell your doctor about new or worsening joint aches and pain or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines, including steroids, without talking to your doctor. Ask your specialist about Dupixent.
Some people just know they can save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first.
Who's ready for my famous charred duck?
Like, to check the mascot first before bringing food to a tailgate. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
The darkness of bipolar depression made me feel like life was moving on without me. Then I found a chance to let in the light.
Discover Capilita. Unlike some medicines that only treat bipolar 1, Capilita is proven to deliver significant symptom relief from both bipolar 1 and 2 depression. And in clinical trials, movement disorders and weight gain were not common.
Capilita can cause serious side effects. Call your doctor about sudden mood changes, behaviors, or suicidal thoughts right away. Antidepressants may increase these risks in young adults.
We
Elderly
in
dementia
Dallas, the
patients have
Ducks
increased
in
risk of death or
Dallas,
stroke.
baby.
Capilita is not approved for
Let's go.
dementia-related psychosis. Report fever, confusion, or stiff muscles which
Let's
may
smack
be
these
life-threatening,
niggas up.
or uncontrolled muscle movements
Deion
which may be
Sanders now.
permanent. Common side effects
Let's go.
include sleepiness, dizziness, nausea, and dry mouth.
This ain't
These
them
aren't
no
all
more,
side
obviously,
effects.
because this
In
was
the
like
darkness of
2028 or
bipolar
something.
1 and 2 depression, Capilita can help you let in the light. Ask your doctor about Capilita. Find savings and support at capilita.com.
Hair buckle bears.
And why they got on white as the home team?
I'm gonna sit this one out. It tastes so good.
Out here fucking with.
Many remedies you take for chest congestion only mask the symptoms.
Hey, how you doing?
This mucus won't move out. You're gonna love this property. The guy's congestion remedy? Harmless.
Try this.
Mucinex 12-hour treats the mucus that causes chest congestion for all-day relief. Don't leave! Mucinex in, mucus out. Don't mask symptoms, treat the cause.
Depend keeps you drier
Hey,
than
these
ever.
uniforms
So you
cold.
can say
The chrome
yes to
helmet
more
with
than
the.
ever.
Ooh.
Depend. The only thing stronger than us is you.
What? It's superhero dance school.
Lego with Ego.
Can we?
If I could be you, you could be me. Just 1 hour. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes.
When you live with diabetes, progress is having your coffee like you like it, without an audience. The Freestyle Libre 3 Plus sensor tracks your glucose in real time, so everyone else doesn't have to. And over time, it can help lower your A1C. Confident choices for more control of your life. This is progress.
I'm about to say, ain't no way he ain't just picked that up.
freestylelibre.us.
My family relied on public assistance to help provide meals for us. These meals fueled my involvement in theater, which fostered my love for acting. When people are fed, futures are nourished. Join the movement to end hunger
My
at
first
feedingamerica.org/actnow.
Detroit returns with so much new drama. I wanted a divorce.
This was not what I was expecting.
Well, these bonds.
Where's your wedding ring?
Finally break. Love and Marriage Detroit. All new Saturday, 8/7 Central.
Both Mike McClellan and Mark Hasse knew Eric Williams was an angry and vengeful man. What they didn't realize was that his rage had festered into a cold-blooded, murderous plot. Prosecutors knew they had the right man in custody, but they were missing a key piece of evidence. When a friend of Williams tells investigators
Bang, great
about
call,
a secret
Coach.
storage space he rented for the former JP, dozens of task force members rush to the address. They know that what's behind this gate can make or break their case.
We were all kind of just
running
gathered
2-1.
around, just everyone, I think, the same thought. We're going to find a white Crown Vic in that storage shed.
All we saw was that Crown Vic, the white Crown Vic that was a suspect vehicle in the McClellans. And you think our team just won the Super Bowl. I mean, we were jumping on each other, and you know there was people crying, and we knew at that point that this is our guy.
But the white Vic isn't all Williams stashed there. It looks like the justice of the peace.
Oh, we almost snuck out of there. He was
It
almost
looked like a
gone.
war room. Firearms, pistols, long rifles. There was tactical gear, bulletproof vest. We found several badges, helmets, thousands and thousands of dollars worth of police equipment and firearms.
Eric Williams is now in custody, but investigators doubt he could have pulled off the murders on his own. They suspect that Kim, his wife of 15 years, may have had something to do with the killings.
We figured she had knowledge and probably did have something to do with it. The fact that eyewitnesses put 2 people in that car
great
with
route.
Cassie, we had very strong suspicions that she would be involved.
Cooking their ass. Great route.
Kim Williams agrees to come in for an interview. She appears cooperative.
Sleeping?
But agents think she's hiding something.
She was interviewed for hours. There were some discrepancies in her story. Times would change. What she was doing was changed, which indicated to us that she wasn't being truthful with us.
When it seems like the rapport building approach isn't working, the agents switch to plan B.
FBI agent just kept after her.
You know what you did.
The unblocked
You know
guy
that
made
you're
the tackle.
involved. How can you live with yourself after what happened to Cynthia McClellan? And finally, she said, almost whispered it, she said, you wouldn't understand.
After 6 hours, Kim Williams confesses to her role in the brutal killings.
I should have gave him the ball.
All of a sudden, Bill said, she just broke. She's giving it all up. Get in your car and get out here right away.
They took everything from us. They took everything from us.
She tells them her husband
All
Eric
right, somebody
is the
got to win.
murderer they've been
Somebody got to win. Let's do this.
He had
to
a
make
huge
it,
ego.
To make it.
And he'd been caught.
Somebody got to
He'd been
win. Come on,
convicted of
Dickie.
burglary,
Come on,
and
Dickie.
He was going to get revenge on these people
Oh,
that he felt
shit.
had brought him down.
That's my fault. I gotta throw
Kim
the ball.
chose to stand by
Throw
her
the
man
ball outside.
and help him
If
execute
it go out of
his
bounds, it go out of
ruthless
bounds. Don't
vendetta.
underthrow it for a fucking interception.
She was his cheerleader and getaway driver.
Right after Eric Williams' first trial, when he started talking to Kim about killing Mark Hasse, and she told us early on she just listened, didn't think he was serious. But then as the year wore on, she thought, okay, he's really serious.
Based on
He's
their
going to do
alignment.
this.
Williams
should be
bought a
straight to the
car
back.
he hid in the storage unit. He picked his guns
But why
and
would you
began
go-
training for the mission.
This one just simmered and boiled with this guy.
It did. And the lengths that he went to plan both of these assassinations out were incredible.
On the morning of January 31st, Kim and Eric waited for Mark Hasse. But Williams wasn't done. When Eric saw Mike McClellan on TV taunting Hasse's killers, he knew
That's the
he was
2-minute
talking
warning.
to him. So he
Let me
decided to
hit
make
this bitch a few
McClellan
times.
his next target. He bought another car for the
Oh,
job,
shit.
a white Crown Victoria. Williams chose Easter weekend, knowing the McClellans were unlikely to have security detail.
The game on.
He was going to go to the home early in the morning and tell them that there's an active shooter in the neighborhood and he needed to come in to protect him.
The next morning, Eric and Kim got the Crown Vic from the storage unit and drove to the McClellans' home.
I'll take that.
From
Coach, what we
afar,
got?
it looked just like a police car.
What we got?
He accessed the screen door, the outer door to the McClellan home at 6:41.
He could come hot off the slide.
Steps
Come
in.
hot off the slide. Throwing
And
that.
begins
Oh!
firing. Cynthia McClellan was dropped there in the living room area.
Then Williams went after Mike McClellan. The Army vet and gun collector didn't get a chance to reach his own arsenal.
You could see where he was tracking him across the
fucked that
wall,
up.
firing 20 rounds fired in less than a minute, probably.
Kim and Eric drove the white Vic back to the storage unit and stashed it there. The bodies of Mike and Cynthia McClellan weren't discovered until 12 hours later.
Later on that day, they went and barbecued steaks and had a cookout to celebrate what they had done.
With Kim
Doing big
Williams'
things, I
chilling
see.
confession, prosecutors finally feel they have enough evidence to convict. They charge the couple with capital murder. It turns out white supremacists had nothing to do with the murders. But many still can't believe that Williams is the killer.
Do you believe he was underestimated?
I personally underestimated him. There was a part of me that didn't feel like he could physically
Why they
pull
take us?
off
Why?
what he did.
Prosecutors choose to try him first for the murder of Cynthia McClellan.
It was so important to us to see justice done in this case. We wanted to give ourselves
Doing a
two
click
opportunities to
purge.
get that justice.
Eric Williams pleads not guilty.
100%.
Eric Williams and Kim Williams chose the McClellan home, full well knowing that there would be a witness there, an innocent victim, and that was Cynthia
Let me
McClellan.
know when you're ready to watch the
According
movie,
to
Pat.
Kim, anyone who crossed Eric was in danger.
Once the
8 o'clock or
floodgate
something like
opened
that.
up and he realized that he could kill,
7:59.
he just started making a list of people that he in his mind had wronged him. He was probably going to do this till he got caught.
Huh?
The trial, almost 2 years after the killings, revives the victims' families' pain.
You don't realize how hard it is to sit in a courtroom 10 foot away from the man that shot your dad and you not be able to reach up there and choke him to death.
Kim's testimony against her husband is shocking.
What did he tell you about how Cynthia McClellan died?
He told me that he had to shoot her an extra time because she was still moaning.
You had probably two of the most evil people meet and fed off of one another. And it was a very dangerous combination.
Eric Williams is found guilty of capital murder in the death of Cynthia McClellan.
Just be doing any
Because they
goddamn
got the
thing.
result they
What
wanted,
does that
prosecutors
accomplish?
don't need to
Like-
bother trying him for the murders of Mark Hasse and Mike McClellan. After less than 2 hours of deliberations, the jury sentences Williams to death. For her part, after entering a plea deal, Kim Williams is charged with first-degree murder. She gets 40 years in prison.
Kim said it best in her testimony. His anger was her anger. She stood behind her husband to the end.
Inside.
A happy couple with a bright future.
They appeared to be a very beautiful couple. He was enrolled at Harvard.
She was finishing her college. They were happy.
Stay doing this stuff.
Mr. Parvez is shot. His wife is dead. Child's a stroller.
And reports of a hate crime shocked the state.
What you potentially have
Just like
here
they out
is
here
a
actually
targeted
doing something. They're
assassination
not doing
of
nothing.
Muslims.
Damn it, I'm
But is
just
there a
throwing the
dark
ball to
story
him
behind
like a
this
dickhead.
brutal
Come on.
killing?
I saw
Come
there
on.
is some panties.
I'll be in fear of my life if I disclose his identity.
And she was like, if I die, it's him.
Come
And how long will it take to uncover the truth?
You would have never guessed what this case turned out to be.
I'm Tamron Hall. I report on a lot of horrific crimes. And when my sister was murdered, crime got personal for me and my family. I understand what it's like to want answers. In telling these stories, I'm looking for more than just how these crimes happen. I want to know why.
Y'all don't even block the motherfucker. Come on, man.
In a homicide investigation, having an eyewitness to the crime can be key in solving the case. But when that witness is a victim too, injured, terrified, and shocked, their story can be unreliable. And that's exactly what happened here in Boonton, New Jersey in the summer of 2011. As a young couple walked down this quiet street, they were ambushed, shot, and left for dead. But the husband survived, and it was his account of what happened that proved critical in tracking down the killers, though in a way that no one
Nah, I can't
expected.
complete the pass for some reason. Come on. Come on.
It's
Come
a
on.
hot, humid night in Boonton,
Great
a small
job,
town in
defense.
New Jersey,
I
about an
keep
hour outside New York
Putting us in
City.
the bad spot. Ohio State lost to Georgia. Let's go.
In this Pakistani
Let's go. Let's go.
community, families
Tennessee
have
beat
gathered to
Pittsburgh.
celebrate Ramadan, the traditional Muslim fast. And the
Go.
Noorani family
Go.
has added reason to celebrate. Their youngest sister,
Miami
Nazish,
won.
is moving to Boston to be with her husband, Kashif.
I've never had the pleasure or honor of being at a Ramadan celebration. What is it like?
We arranged like special food and special dishes for that occasion.
So the family is excited, the kids are having a good time.
Yes. Taking pictures and stuff like that. And then the one who's doing the first fast getting gifts and stuff.
So there were many things being celebrated. The first fast for a family member, Nazish, getting ready to move to
Yes.
Boston.
Nazish's husband, Kashif, has been attending graduate school at Harvard University, leaving his wife and young sons behind in Brooklyn. But after a year apart, Kashi and Naz, as they call each other, will be together again.
So how did she feel to finally be preparing to move to Boston?
She was happy about it. She was preparing food and everything because those days were Ramadan, so we wake up in 3 in the morning and eat. So she was preparing food for the next morning before this happened.
After the evening's celebrations, the party begins to wind down.
I went there, I was like, listen, I need some tea. And then they were like, we're not gonna make it, get out. I was like, all right. She was like, oh, we are preparing food for Boston, so no. I was like, all right, then I'm out.
They is taking off on my ass.
Is
Come
that
on.
exchange kind of
Great job, defense.
example of your relationship?
Oh,
Yeah, that's
shit.
Sister and brother?
What are we
Always
doing?
it was like that. We were close. Yes.
Naz's brother, Kaleem, heads to his house up the street, leaving Naz and her sister, Lubna, to prepare for the morning drive to Boston. After Naz moves, they won't get to see each other as often.
I know there's a big age difference between you and Nazish.
9 years.
9.
Yeah. She's my younger, like my kid.
How would you describe her personality?
She's really kind.
That is insane.
And she's
That
kind.
was
She's
insane.
lovely.
100-yard
If she came
touchdown, literally.
From Brooklyn to Boonton, and she always
Wow,
calls
on a jet
all
ski.
friends, and we are
Was that a
there
touch pass?
with my dad home, and you know,
Was it a
like
touch
a
pass?
party she doing.
That is
So
crazy.
she had a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Before the sisters know it, it's almost 11 p.m.
You sure you don't need help?
Kashi and Naz head out with their 2-year-old son, Cheyenne, in his stroller. Naz tells Lubna they will pick up their older boy, Rian, after they get their car from up the street.
I'll be right back, okay?
She said she would come back,
Yeah.
and she never.
Seconds later, Lubna hears a noise she thinks must be fireworks.
That is crazy.
But when her young daughter
Hey,
runs in
hit your shit
frightened,
again.
she realizes something is wrong.
There we go, dog.
Your brother
That's a big
told
run.
you he received a call,
From Luke.
and she said what?
She said that
But
Nazish
was
is
that a
home or
pass,
not.
though? That's what
Because she just left and there is something happened outside. Somebody's screaming for help.
At the same time, 911 calls from the area start pouring in.
This is 11:15 on a Tuesday night in a very quiet area.
Yes, fuck.
Everybody describes
That
it
could have
as
been
being
my
a beautiful night.
touchdown.
Windows are open.
That's his
quiet,
passing
and
touchdown.
then
That's some whole
the
shit.
clap of gunfire wakes people up.
One call stands out. It's Kashif, Naz's husband.
Hey, Dickie, go in. Fuck them.
As police rush to the scene, one officer notices a blue sedan speeding in the opposite direction with its lights off. But his priority is getting to the crime scene. He arrives to a shocking sight. A young couple wounded and bleeding while their small child miraculously unharmed
terrible,
sits crying in his stroller. Neighbors are already on the scene trying to help, and within moments, Kaleem arrives.
Take me back to that night.
I was in my house there up in Church Street.
And that's just
That's- yeah,
a
right
block
one
or so?
a block away.
a block from
That
here.
was their only touchdown.
And you were told by your brother that.
Something happened, so I ran down here.
And
I-
as you were running
Yeah.
down here, what did you see?
I just saw a stroller right here, so I stopped and asked the kid, and he said that the mama dropped there, that the daddy's there too.
So his body, Kasip, was here.
Yeah, he was right there, but the
Near the
residents
car.
from that house were out
Okay.
and talking to him.
And so just a few inches away.
Yeah, she was right here, right down there.
And was she lying face down? How would you
No,
describe
she was on her back. She was on her back at that time, and then someone was trying to give her the CPR at that time.
Could you see any response from her? Did you?
No. And I asked
That
them,
man
they
got
said
100 yards rushing and 100 yards passing. That is insane. That is crazy.
Just 4
100
years prior,
yards rushing
the
and
Iraqi
100 yards
family
passing.
immigrated to the U.S. from Pakistan.
That is
settling
crazy.
in the quiet town of Boonton.
What was that move like for the both of you?
Great job, bro.
At first, it was boring because there were no friends, nothing was going on here. But we just.
I did everything to
she
fuck
went
it
to
up.
school
Defense
there.
did everything to
There were a lot
not
of
let
cousins that
that
were
happen.
helping.
Great
She was
job,
fine
guys.
There was stability because you had family here.
Yes.
As a traditional Pakistani girl, almost all the men
Yeah, I was
20-year-old Nazish knew were family members, protective cousins,
Mm,
and brothers.
I was getting hit hard. Shit.
But on a trip to a local South Asian cultural fest, she met a young man who charmed her away from her sheltering family. Naz finds Kashif to be an intelligent and handsome young man. He has learned to work construction
Who-
from his
that
father,
was
and plans to
play
start his own
Georgia
business. But he has
in
bigger
the
dreams too, hoping
semifinal.
to continue his studies
Let's
once the
for the-
business is running
to
well.
go to the
He's even
natty.
working on a book about
Yeah.
Russian architecture.
Yeah.
With the
The Sugar
blessing
Bowl.
of
What
both
that's
sets
at
of parents,
Atlanta.
they get
We finna
married,
do. Oh
and
shit, it's a
Nazish
home
moved
game
to
for
Brooklyn
Georgia,
to begin
basically.
raising a family.
Basically, let's go show out.
Their relationship
Let's
and their
go show
marriage
out
is
in
called
Georgia.
love marriage.
Ooh,
What
let's
does
go
that
show out in
In arranged marriages,
Georgia.
parents decide if this couple is gonna get married or not. In this one, it's the couple's decision.
13
They
and 2. Let's
decide
go.
if they're gonna get married.
Let's go.
Did she seem happy?
Practice.
She seemed happy.
Let's go to.
Everything was
let's-
going
yeah.
well.
They appear to be
I don't even want to do
a
options. I
very
just want to throw the
young,
ball.
very beautiful
I need
couple
to see how it look.
with 2 little kids, and it seemed
to
so
see how it
innocent. It seemed that violence had intruded upon what was supposed to be a very precious holiday.
27-year-old Nazish Noorani is dead. Her husband, Kashif, is in agony from his wounds. But he's also the only witness to the crime. And police need to find who did this.
Was he talking?
Yeah, he was. It was like there were 3 people, and they went that way, right down towards the way in the street.
So the person, at least at the time, you believe, likely turned right because that leads to the interstate. And they would have been out of the neighborhood and gone.
Officers search the area for suspects. But why would anyone shoot this young couple walking with a child? Kashif has an answer.
That's fine. Good job, 2-1. Gotta hit the back. Sometimes to ring out. I'm going to hit the end for the win.
Here we go again.
We get in word.
Detroit season finale Saturday 8/7 Central.
Hurdle.
The last time we were together,
Boy, Boston win this shit. I like it. Hey, best defense in the country. Hey. There we go, Dickie. Run your shit. Let's go.
Oh, you don't know? It's Fire. That topping dropping, that perfect sauce and those flavors popping. Fire. That family snagging.
Welcome to my channel.
That beauty hacking. Greek yogurt. Fire. Nothing plain about it.
Some people just know they can save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check your school's saying first before saying it.
Now we can't catch the ball. Come on, guys.
It's gold tide.
I could have got
Yeah,
7,000.
checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Weekly agenda. Let's see what we got. I got to heal up, so only got 4. Here we go.
How far would you go to set
Here
your
we
home ambiance?
go.
Try Airwick's Essential Mist Diffuser. It's perfectly portable and glows with a fragrant
I
mist.
don't need to really fuck
Transform
with
your
that
space
right now.
with Airwick Essential Mist.
I already graduated, so I could
This is a hot flash.
boost that up some more, but
This is a hot flash.
them only one, so I'm
But this is a not flash. For moderate to severe vasomotor symptoms due to menopause, Veoza is the first and only prescription treatment that directly blocks the source of hot
1.5
flashes and
million
night sweats.
followers. I
With
fuck with it.
100% hormone-free Veoza, you can have fewer hot flashes and more not flashes. Veoza reduces the number and severity of hot flashes day and night. Don't use Veoza if you have cirrhosis, severe kidney problems, kidney failure, or take
Let's
CYP2
go.
inhibitors.
What you need?
Increased liver blood
What
test
y'all
values
at?
may occur. Your doctor will check them before entering treatment.
I'm
Most common side effects include stomach pain, diarrhea, difficulty sleeping, and back pain. Ask your doctor about hormone-free Veoza and enjoy more not flashes. You could save on Veoza. Visit saveonveoza.com to learn more.
Yum, chicken parm with our Purdue chicken. No antibiotics ever. And is that homemade marinara?
Oh, because they totally 100% for sure deserve it. Delicious chicken they may or may not deserve. Purdue,
This is a Cottonelle toilet paper service announcement.
Your toilet paper leaving you with an unclean feeling you can't shake? You deserve Cottonelle Ultra Clean and Flushable Wipes. Together, Cottonelle Ripples clean even better, so you feel clean as a... You got the right to a better wipe.
This is the innovative McCormick Snap Tight Bottle. A bottle redesigned to seal in vibrant, long-lasting, fresh flavor. McCormick Snap Tight Bottles. Keeps flavor fresh and dinner delicious.
I was stuck. Unresolved depression symptoms were in my way.
Look
I
at
needed
that right
more
there.
from my
That's coming to
antidepressant.
Eugene,
Vraylar helped give it a
baby.
Adding
Let's
Vraylar
run the
to an
ball on these
antidepressant
boys.
is
Let's see what they
clinically
do.
proven to help relieve overall
Let's see what they're
depression
talking about.
symptoms
Let's run the ball on
better
these
than an
boys. Let's see what they do.
antidepressant alone. And in Vraylar
They ain't
clinical
about it.
studies, most saw no substantial
They ain't
impact
about
on
it.
weight. Elderly dementia
Love the
patients
energy.
have increased risk of
Ooh,
death
spicy
or stroke,
rice. Let's
report
go.
unusual changes in
Let's
behavior
go.
or suicidal thoughts. Antidepressants can increase these in children and young adults. Report
Let's
fever,
go,
stiff
Ducks.
muscles, or confusion,
Ooh,
as these
these
may be
Unis is
life-threatening,
cold.
or uncontrolled muscle movements, which may be permanent.
The
High
little
blood sugar,
yellow
which
and
can
the-
lead to
with the
coma or
yellow
death,
pants,
weight
the
gain, and high
green- the
cholesterol
green
may occur.
lettering.
Movement dysfunction
on
and
the
restlessness
white.
are common side effects. Stomach and sleep issues, dizziness, increased
Yeah,
appetite, and
that's
fatigue are
word.
also common. Side effects may not appear for several weeks. I didn't have to change my treatment. I just gave it a lift. Ask about Vraylar and learn how AbbVie can help you save.
On a quiet street in New Jersey, a young Muslim couple has been gunned down in cold blood. Nazish Noorani has succumbed to her injuries. Her husband, Kashif, has been rushed to the hospital after describing the attack.
And he said that they screamed at him and his wife, "You swear word terrorist."
So when you were told that this was possibly a hate crime, did that seem like something that could happen here?
It's a large Muslim population here. We have a big Islamic center, another masjid. We have 2 Islamic centers, basically. So it could happen here. If somebody wanted to do it, this will be the right town for them.
After 9/11, anti-Muslim violence erupted in many parts of the country. The Twin Towers once stood just an hour away from Boonton. Could that hate have been festering here as well?
If you take a step back and you think about what you potentially have here, which is a targeted shooting, assassination of people because they are Muslims, the fabric of the community has the possibility of being unwoven.
Police are desperate to find the gunman before the community erupts. They visit Kashif at Morristown Medical. He's sustained 4 gunshots and lost blood, but his wounds aren't life-threatening. He wants to help, so the detectives ask him to tell them what happened. He describes how he and Naz were walking together to their car, pushing their son in his stroller. Suddenly, 3 African-American men stepped out of the darkness, brandishing guns and screaming racial slurs. Kashif raised his hands and cried, "Don't shoot." But they did, over and over. Kashif seems lucid, but his story gives detectives pause.
There are inconsistencies in the statements that he's given with who shot first and how many times and the sequence of the shots. The importance of that, he shot 4 times, so I don't know that there is a true importance of that.
Inconsistencies can be common with witnesses like Kashif who've been through trauma. It takes special skills and experience to get accurate information from these people. So Captain Jeff Paul takes over questioning.
Oftentimes victims of crime, it's extremely emotional, it's extremely upsetting, and it's very difficult oftentimes for victims to, communicate as to what just happened.
After 30 years of questioning victims, Paul knows that relevant information can be found in unlikely places. So he asks Kashif to start back at the beginning. Just a year before, Kashi and Naz were living a quiet, happy life in Brooklyn. But Kashi had a dream that he couldn't forget, to study architecture. at Harvard University. The couple will have to separate for a short time.
When Kashif moved to Boston and Nazish was still in Brooklyn, what did she tell you about their situation?
He want to study in Harvard University, and he got the apartment there and settled, and then he called Nazish there.
So once he got settled in Boston, she could come there.
Yeah.
During that first year, Kashif makes friends with Antoinette Stephen, another architecture student.
Antoinette is a very educated person. She has an undergraduate degree in architecture from India. She speaks 4 languages. She was going to college, which is where she met Kashif. She's very intelligent, but she comes across as a little demure.
When Naz visits Boston, she meets Kashif's new friend who seems smart and trustworthy. Naz can see that he's doing well and looks forward to joining him.
Did you get the impression she felt the move to Boston was a new start for their relationship and for the family?
Yes, because she applied in college there, she got accepted, and the kid also got accepted into school. So they were basically starting a new life there, college, school, getting busy, you know.
Paul takes in Kashif's story, hoping that some detail will lead police to the people who targeted this man and his family.
In cases where you have victims of crime, they sometimes are involved in embarrassing and troubling life issues that they might not want to divulge to law enforcement. And my job is to make victims comfortable to tell their story because they don't deserve to be victims.
As Kashif becomes more comfortable, Paul sees an opportunity.
How was your marriage?
Kashif hesitates for a second and then begins to speak candidly. It's not what Captain Paul was expecting.
We start going down a road where he tells me about his marriage, basically his problematic marriage.
Kashif confesses that he and Naz didn't get along, that she barely tolerated his presence, turning her back on him and hanging up on his calls. In fact, Kashif says that the marriage had gotten so bad, he'd gone elsewhere for affection.
Just had problems.
So, as Mr. Parvez is in the hospital, he is asked for consent to search his phone. He says yes, but he basically says to the detectives that are down there, you could go into my phone, but you're going to find some pictures or some information about another woman.
I've been having an affair.
Kashif says he's having an affair with Yelena Belarusets, a student he met at a lecture in Manhattan.
Nazish Noorani had met Yelena Belarusets, but Yelena had identified herself as a friend, and Kashif had identified Yelena as just a friend, but his relationship with her was virtually as long as the marriage was.
With the affair going on 5 years, Naz finding out was inevitable.
Why did she believe that he was seeing another woman? What did she find in the apartment?
And she told me, it's like, I saw there is like some panties and some, you know, bras and things like women's stuff. And he said, it's like, oh, yours, you forgot here. And she said, this one is not mine.
I'm trying to find out if there's something else going on in his life that potentially could be related to why this took place. So, you know, we have to explore that. Is that relationship, does it play into any of this?
Could Yelena have been involved in Naz's death, hoping to keep Kashif to herself? Or maybe she had another boyfriend with a temper. Captain Jeff Paul has been talking to Kashif Parvez for hours. He knows more about the man's marriage, but not who may have targeted his wife.
I spent a considerable amount of time with Mr. Parvez, and I listened to his issues with regards to, you know, the turbulent marriage. At the point where you're doing these kind of interviews, it's like a chess game. At some point, you're going to have to make a move.
Paul takes a chance that Kashif knows more than he's said.
You want to tell me the truth? It was an accident.
We went from him being gunned down in the street, shot 4 times, to it was an accident. You know, what does that mean?
Detroit returns with so much new drama.
I wanted a divorce.
This was not what I was expecting. Well, these bonds.
Where's your wedding ring?
Oh,
Finally break. Love and Marriage Detroit. All new Saturday, 8/7 Central.
Upset stomach? Iberogast. Indigestion? Iberogast. Bloating? Iberogast. Thanks to a unique combination of herbs, Iberogast helps relieve 6 digestive symptoms to help you feel better. 6 digestive symptoms, the power of nature. Iberogast.
Whether it's a last-second bake sale, Taco Tuesday, or a meal for your future in-laws, it's gonna be great. With McCormick by your side for over 130 years, it's gonna be great.
Purina cares here.
I was stuck. Unresolved depression symptoms were in my way. I needed more from my antidepressant. Vraylar helped give it a lift.
Adding Vraylar to an antidepressant is clinically proven to help relieve overall depression symptoms better than an antidepressant alone. And in Vraylar clinical studies, most saw no substantial impact on weight. Elderly dementia patients have increased risk of death or stroke, report unusual changes in behavior or suicidal thoughts. Antidepressants can increase these in
If we
children
win the
and young
national
adults,
championship, it's
report
going to be
fever,
because of
stiff
our
muscles or
defense.
confusion, as these may be life-threatening.
I ain't even
or
gonna lie to
uncontrolled
you.
muscle movements, which may be permanent. High blood sugar, which can lead to coma or death.
And our
weight
running
gain
game.
and high cholesterol may occur. Movement
gonna take this
dysfunction
to
and
halftime,
restlessness
y'all,
are
unless
common
he's
side
cold.
effects. Stomach and sleep issues,
And that
dizziness,
is it.
increased appetite, and fatigue are also common. Side effects may not appear for several weeks.
I didn't have to change my treatment. I just gave it a lift.
Ask about Vraylar and learn how AbbVie can help you save.
Did you know period pads are not designed to protect against bladder leak, odor, and wetness? Try Poise Fresh Protection. Unlike period pads, Poise features Fresh Sense technology for up to 100% protection from wetness and odors. Try Poise.
What do you talk about? The news? Sports? A little family gossip, maybe? Nah, you don't do that, right? Well, here's another topic for you. As they get older, their risk of getting really sick from a respiratory virus like flu, COVID-19, or RSV goes up a lot. So talk to them about getting the season's vaccines, because you've still got so much to talk about.
Yum, chicken parm with our Purdue chicken. No antibiotics ever. And is that homemade marinara?
Oh, because they totally 100% for sure deserve it. Delicious chicken they may or may not deserve. Purdue.
Resolve. Your pet knows if a mess is really gone. If not, they may remark the spot. Resolve gets rid of pet messes better than the leading competitor, destroying stains, neutralizing odors, and preventing remarking. Love the love, resolve the mess.
When we go
Bombas,
that
we dream of
quads
comfort,
and run,
movement,
let's see if I can
softness.
manufacture.
We believe your basic things should be your very best things, which is why we make the most comfortable socks in the
Good
history of
shit.
feet. Slippers you'll float in, and underwear and tees that feel like clouds. No bunnies. As always, one purchased equals one donated. Bombas. Visit bombas.com and get 20% off your first order.
1 second, it's a pipe dream. And the next, it's a dream come true. 1 second, you know it's all protected. And then...
Is everything okay?
The police have been dispatched. Well, we still do.
A sudden revelation has turned Kashif Parvez from grieving husband to possible murder suspect. He is the only witness to his wife's murder, and he said it was a hate crime. But 7 hours after the shooting, his story is faltering.
At 5:49 a.m. on August 17, 2011, Captain Jeff Paul of the Morris County Prosecutor's Office reads Kashif
Appreciate it,
Parvez
Coach.
his Miranda rights, though he does not place him under arrest. Kashif has called his wife's death an accident.
the hate crime story is false. Paul doesn't know exactly how or why the murder went down, but he does know that Kashif isn't telling him everything.
Up until that point, Kashif Parvez is a victim. But at this point, he acknowledges some level of knowledge, if not responsibility, for this incident. So from a legal point of view, that changes the dynamic of the entire case.
You know, if it was an accident, you have to know how it happened. So, you know, now I got a lot of work to do yet.
Jeff Paul must pursue Kashif until he gets the whole truth, however long it takes. The rest of the investigative team
the defense is
has
playing
their
their
work cut out
ass
for
off.
them too.
My defensive coordinator
There's
need a fucking
still a ton of
raise.
unanswered questions. Him saying this is an accident does not solve this case. It puts you
I'm on the 1 yard
in
line.
another direction and in the right direction, but you still have a long, long way to go.
Kashif's admission forces investigators to take a fresh look at their case and their evidence. Could Kashif's phone hold the key to the shooter's identity?
The physical phone was essentially wiped. He removed most of the text messages. So there's two ways to look at it. There is what's on your physical device, which was not all that telling. But then what does the server, what does the company retain?
Back in the ER, it becomes clear to Paul that Kashif knows who killed his wife, but he hesitates, changes the subject, steers the conversation in circles. It's a habit of Kashif's that Naz's family noticed years ago.
What was it about him that you didn't like?
The lies. I mean, you could tell like he's lying, but you couldn't do anything.
So from the moment you met him, you believe that
He's lying
not
about a lot of
honest.
stuff, yes.
It's interesting, you have very strong opinions about him from the minute you met him.
I mean, whatever he used to say, I used to tell my sister that. I don't believe him, but whatever, you know? And he's just BS about anything.
Finally, Kashif gives the detective something concrete.
His name was Naomi.
He throws out Naomi as a person he refers to as Naomi Toe.
How do you know?
A name that he had in his phone, and he indicated that that was the individual that he had conspired with to kill his wife.
Kashif describes Nomi as a tow truck driver he knows from Brooklyn. According to Kashif, Nomi also had a troubled marriage, and they had complained to each other many times. Kashif said that Nomi offered to help him get rid of his wife. And Kashif accepted. Paul alerts the team that he has a suspect,
I got some information on this guy.
and a pair of detectives start searching for Nomi. Meanwhile, there's good news about the information deleted from Kashif's phone.
I don't want to give a plug for Verizon, but I'm giving a plug for Verizon, which is they typically retain their text messages for a number of days, 3 to 5 days, whatever it is. If it had been another phone company, chances are we would not have gotten that information, that detailed information.
And it is incredibly detailed. More than 400 messages in just 5 days. Sifting through this will take time. By that afternoon, police have questioned dozens of people in the area of Brooklyn where Nomi hangs out. Many people have heard of Nomi, but their question is, which one?
What we ultimately found out was that Nomi was a name that's used pretty prevalent in that community.
It's a nickname.
It's a nickname, basically. So Nomi Toe was a tow truck driver, and he would be called Nomi Toe. Nomi BMW drove a BMW, and they would call him Nomi BMW.
So what did you and your team find when you went looking for Nomi?
I mean, we found that there were people named Nomi.
A lot of people named
A lot of people named Nomi. That was fictitious information.
Just 4 miles away, another team has located Yelena Belarusets, Kashif's long-term mistress. She seems cooperative at first, but when she's asked if she knows Kashif Parvez, she politely refuses to answer questions.
No. No, no, no.
It looks like the Brooklyn investigation is a bust.
Ma'am.
Back in Morristown, detectives are still sorting text messages.
the information that we get, it doesn't show Mr. Parvez talking to John Doe. It just shows numbers. So you have to decipher all that information. You have to read the messages and find out what is relevant to the investigation, and most of it is not going to be relevant to the investigation. And then you have to find out who these people are.
Finally, detectives get a hit. It's a text to Kashif from a 978 area code, Boston, that reads, "You hang in there. Freedom is just around your corner." It only seems slightly ominous on its own, but the team begins following the text from that number. They find a disturbing conversation that occurred just before Nas was gunned down.
I'm down Church Street.
I know, I saw. I'm driving to the nearest precinct to judge their driving distance.
You'll have a 10-minute head start.
I know. It's just that since we're close to Lubna's house, plus they're going to be awake, they'll come out first. I'll be running right their way.
It's as if the entire plan to murder Nas is written out in black and white.
And you see the ebbs and flows of this plan and all of these back and forth things that really is it plays like a script. It's the script of a horror movie.
Here's Liz, whose bladder leaks drop in uninvited. But instead of period pads, she brought Poise Ultra Thin, so she can bounce on with clean, dry, fresh protection from Poise.
Yeah, move the meeting.
Hey, Mike, what's good, man?
How do we show up as our whole self when life has so many parts to switch between?
Uncle Hamilton.
With tech that helps us put everything we are into everything we do.
You made that look easy.
Recode your future with the tech-forward and tech-ready Lexus NX.
Oh, you don't know? It's Faye, that on my way, that every day, that protein, A, Faye, that tasting great, that working late. Greek yogurt, Faye, nothing plain about it.
Got this.
Hey, how are you?
Who are you?
Oh, I'm Susan Toothbrush. I come through Walls to help people make better decisions about their oral health care.
Oh.
Big interview, huh? Nice new suit, new haircut, ancient bristle stick. You want a plaque on your desk, not messing up your molars. Make the Sonicare switch. 2 minutes of brush strokes with the Philips Sonicare is like a month of brushing with this old thing. All right, knock 'em dead, boss. Can I get the Wi-Fi? I'm gonna hang here.
Our biggest competitor is going back to feeding their chickens antibiotics before they're even sick. You can't solve your problems by throwing antibiotics at them. At Purdue, we promise to stay no antibiotics ever. Purdue.
A Chewy pharmacy order is en route for Summit, who loves the outdoors. So her parents use Chewy to save 20% on their first order of flea and tick meds. Delivered fast so Summit never misses a dose or an adventure. For quality meds, for life with pets, there's Chewy.
Some days you can feel like a spectator in your own life with chronic migraine. 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more. Botox prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine before they start. And treatment
Let's
is
go.
4 times a year.
Ducks
In a
to the
survey,
national
91%
championship
of
game.
users wish they'd started sooner. So why wait? Talk to your doctor.
Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
29 yards
Don't
past.
keep you from being there. Why wait? Talk to your doctor
My
about
defense
Botox
was
and
stuffing
get in the
that shit.
picture. Learn how AbbVie can help you save.
This is the innovative McCormick Snap Tight Bottle. A bottle redesigned to seal in vibrant, long-lasting, fresh flavor. McCormick Snap Tight Bottles keeps flavor fresh.
Archie right now
and
as
dinner
a junior
delicious.
is not an NFL quarterback.
How far would you go to set your home ambiance? Try Airwick's Essential Mist Diffuser. It's perfectly portable and glows with a fragrant mist. Transform your space with Airwick Essential Mist.
I don't have a trust for you. I just don't. These
Oh,
feuds.
we play Miami. Let's go.
Fire.
Rob is a little off between me and Anthony.
Here we go again.
Love and Marriage Detroit season finale Saturday 8/7 Central.
The last time we were together, things went haywire. The collective needs to be corrected. What the hell is a collective correction? Let's keep this show on the road.
Morris County investigators have found shocking text messages sent from Kashif Parvez's phone.
Oregon.
These messages show this was no accident, that Kashif was conspiring to murder his wife. The news is a blow to Naz's family.
Did she ever tell you she was afraid?
I'll be up there in a second.
I think 2 months before
Yeah,
this
I'll be up there in a
incident,
second.
she texted me and she was like, if I die or something, it's him. And I was like, I don't think he can do it.
You were confident because this guy, in your opinion, has been a BSer since you met him, that he would never.
He himself could.
Kashif may have wanted to get rid of Naz, but he wouldn't pull the trigger himself. He needed an accomplice, and it must be the mysterious person who sent Kashif the texts plotting the murder.
You're looking at where was this person, what are the cell site coordinates of where they were on the 15th, the 16th, the 17th. And we were able to determine that the phone number originated from Massachusetts, that essentially the phone was being used coming down south to New Jersey. We had it hitting off near the Tappan Zee Bridge. We then had it in Parsippany, which is an adjacent town to Boonton. And then we had it after the homicide back up in the Massachusetts area. So we were able to kind of piece together that this person, whoever is using this phone, this is who we're looking for.
Police contact the phone service provider and find that the phone is registered to a Kunjanjama Stephen.
It sounds ignorant, but I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know if it was Stephen, first name, Kujanjama. Quite frankly, we don't know if it's the person that did this. We don't know if it's somebody that subscribed the phone for somebody else. We have no idea. But we have a location in Massachusetts.
The phone is sending out a signal from Billerica, Massachusetts, a suburb of Boston. While most of the team continues their search from New Jersey, prosecutor Troiano and a few men head north through the night. By the next afternoon, Troiano and local Billerica police have arrived at 42 Pinedale Avenue, the source of the hitman's cell phone signal. The phone is inside and transmitting. They just need to wait until their man emerges from the house. But then Troiano gets some information that could change the plan.
It turned out to be that Kujanjama Stephen is a middle-aged woman who lives at 42 Pinedale Avenue with her husband that we knew nothing about initially. So it comes back to this woman, and ultimately we don't think that she's our shooter.
So someone else must have been using Mrs. Stevens' phone at the time of the murder. The team turns to the other residents of 42 Pinedale.
We still have this Nomito name who's described as a male. So even if Nomito is not accurate, you still think it's probably going to be a male. This is what he's telling us. And we're not getting that. We're getting mother, father, 2 daughters. So we really don't know.
With Stephen Kunjanjama eliminated, authorities are at a loss. All they know is that whoever has the phone was willing to shoot 2 people at point-blank range in front of a toddler.
You already have 1 woman dead, another person shot, and multiple gunshots. You're not going to walk up blind to a house if you could just wait, surveil the house, and try to get some background information as to who might be there, who these people might be associated with.
Back in New Jersey, a detective spots something in surveillance video from the night of the murder. At 11:18 p.m., just minutes after the shooting, a blue sedan races through Boonton with its headlights off. It's the same car first responders passed on their way to the crime scene. When Troiano gets this information, he notices that there's a blue sedan parked at 42 Pinedale. Both the vehicles seen in Boonton and the one in this driveway are Toyota Camrys, which is a common car. But there's something that sets it apart.
And on the front dashboard of it is a glass-type object that you could see off the camera on Main Street. It's distinctive.
The glass is mounted to the dashboard, just like it is in the Camry parked in front of the stakeout team in Massachusetts.
So we know that the car is there. We know that the car fits the surveillance we have. We know that the phone is the one that's communicating with Parvez, and we know that the phone's inside 42 Pinedale.
There is no longer much doubt that Naz Noorani's killer is inside this house. But if investigators knock on the door, could they be walking into a shootout? Meanwhile, in Morristown, Captain Jeff Paul has finished his interview with Kashif Parvez. After a sleepless night, there's only one last thing to talk about.
At that point in the judicial process, I am obligated to, serve him with his charges and articulate what exactly those charges are.
Conspiracy to commit murder and murder in the first degree.
And I tell him his charges. During that interaction, his heart rate gets rather fast. It trips the alarm.
Medical staff swarm the patient, pushing Captain Paul out of the room. It takes several minutes to get Kashif stable again. Eventually, Paul is allowed back in.
So I come back into the room after that process. Again, I'm going down the road, and this is, my last opportunity to charge the murder. It's out on the table.
At first, Kashif has little response. Captain Paul concludes his interview and gets ready to leave, thinking he's lost his final chance at getting a confession.
And then at some point before, as I finish my interview and I'm off tape, I'm getting ready to leave, and he says, "What's going to happen to her? She works at Best Buy." At that point, that clicks with me with other data that I had read at some point, that the person that he's talking about now clearly is Antoinette Stevens.
Up until this point, investigators had thought, because of Kashif's story about Nomi, that the shooter was a man. But there is a resident of this household who works at Best Buy and is taking architecture classes in Boston and is a friend of Kashif Parvez, Antoinette Stevens.
When you were getting ready to walk up to 42 Pinedale, what did you know about Antoinette?
Not a whole lot, to be honest with you. She's a mid-20s girl that had never been in trouble before. Not the typical criminal or killer.
At the local precinct, police questioned Antoinette about her whereabouts the night of the murder.
So what did Antoinette tell you when you questioned her about her relationship with Kashif that night?
She said that they were very close, that he was somewhat of a confidant to her, and that when she was having issues, she would speak to him. So she drove down to Boonton, stayed in an adjacent town with the purpose to meet up with him. And so she acknowledged being down here, but she didn't acknowledge having anything to do with it.
Antoinette Stevens is smart, employed, and has never had so much as a parking ticket. Plus, she's known Kashif and Naz both for some time. Could she really be involved in this brutal murder?
You question a lot of people. What was your read on her?
She was definitely holding back information. There's no question about it.
Oh, you don't know? It's Faye, that move your feet, taste can't be beat, that late night treat. Faye, that straight tugging, that feeling right, get every bite. Greek yogurt. Faye, nothing plain about it.
My life is full of questions. How do I clean an aioli stain? Here's Tide. Do I need to pre-treat guacamole? No, it's Tide.
Why do we even buy napkins?
Thankfully, Tide's the answer to almost all of them.
Do crabs have eyebrows?
Except that one.
For all of life's laundry questions, it's got to be Tide.
This is a Cottonelle toilet paper service announcement. Your toilet paper leaving you with an unclean feeling you can't shake? You deserve Cottonelle Ultra Clean and Flushable Wipes. Together, Cottonelle Ripples clean even better, so you feel clean as a... You got the right to a better wipe.
Dupixent helps people with asthma breathe better in as little as 2 weeks. And when you can breathe better, what isn't better? This is better. This is better. That's better. Dupixent is an add-on treatment for specific types of moderate to severe asthma. It works with your asthma medicine to help improve lung function. Dupixent is not for sudden breathing problems. It's proven to help prevent asthma attacks. And doesn't that make things better? Dupixent can cause allergic reactions that can be severe. Tell your doctor right away if you have rash, chest pain, worsening shortness of breath, tingling, or numbness in your limbs. Tell your doctor about new or worsening joint aches and pain or a parasitic infection. Don't change your stop asthma medicines, including steroids, without talking to your doctor. When you can get more out of your lungs, you can do more with less asthma. And isn't that better? Ask your doctor about Dupixent, the most prescribed biologic in asthma. And now approved as an add-on treatment for adults with inadequately controlled COPD with a specific marker of inflammation.
Whether it's a last-second bake sale, Taco Tuesday, or a meal for your future in-laws, it's gonna be great. With McCormick by your side for over 130 years, it's gonna be great.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first.
Okay, let's get going. Can everybody see that?
Like, you know, to check your desktop first before sharing your screen.
Ah, that is not the, oh, no. Know how that got in there? No, that,
Yeah, checking first is smart.
Okay, everybody get out.
So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Do you believe in magic? In a young girl's heart, how the music can free her whenever it starts, and it's magic. Do you believe in magic?
Every parent knows when it's time to go into protect mode. Kill 99.9% of bacteria when you add Lysol laundry sanitizer to your laundry routine.
Purina cares here.
Hair buckle bears. Ooh, I love these. The one where I chew it, the fruitier and fruitier it gets. Oh, I'm gonna sit this one out. It tastes too good.
I told y'all to run that. Come on now.
Hey guys, what are you guys doing? How'd you do that? Looks complicated.
Oh, it ain't that hard. Joe, tell it. Man.
It's easy. Pick more or less on at least 2 players, enter your lineup, and lock in for the game.
I could have told you that. I could have told me that. I said that. Yeah.
Download the PrizePicks app today. Enter $5 and get $50 instantly with code TEAM. PrizePicks. Run your game.
1 second, they're a neighbor you like. The next, they're a neighbor you trust.
Actually, no problem.
1 second, you're worrying about your home. And then, thanks to ADT, there's a lot less to worry about. Feel secure enough to let others in with Trusted Neighbor from ADT.
I don't have a trust for you. I just don't.
These feuds.
That's ignorant. That's not ignorant.
Are on fire.
I was a little off between me and Anthony.
Here we go again.
Love and Marriage Detroit season finale Saturday 8/7 Central.
With Antoinette Stephen in custody, authorities search her Billerica home. The young student seems like the last person who would shoot 2 people point-blank range. Antoinette and Kashif started out as friends, but their relationship eventually turned romantic. As they got closer, he would talk to her about his unhappy marriage. But there was a new twist to the story she heard.
Mr. Parvez has 2 boys, Rian and Cheyenne. At the time, they were 5 and about 3. So the information that we had received from Miss Stephen was that Rian, the older boy, was suffering from sickle cell anemia, and that Naz was not caring for him.
Kashif told Antoinette that Naz refused to take the boy to be treated for his illness. And without regular transfusions, he wouldn't survive. Kashif said that the only way to save the boy's life was to end his mother's.
Do you believe Antoinette wanted just to believe these lies so that she could free him, so they could be together?
I think she did believe these lies. I don't think there's any question about it. She fell for this hook, line, and sinker. And she believed that these kids, namely Rion, was in harm's way and that she was going to help.
The search of 42 Pinedale yields 2 guns. One used to kill Naz Noorani, and the other to wound her husband, Kashif. In less than 48 hours, authorities have found their shooter. But it would take 4 more years to uncover the whole truth about Nazish Noorani's murder. At trial in February 2015, Kashif's many lies are finally revealed. He wasn't divorced, as he told Yelena Belarusits. His son wasn't sick, as he told Antoinette Stephen. And he wasn't even enrolled at Harvard or any other university. Diplomas and letters he held were all fake.
He basically has almost 3 different lives, where he's married to Naz. He has a family in Brooklyn. He's in a 5.5-year relationship with Yelena, which he is basically hiding from people. And he's in a relationship with Antoinette, but he's essentially has multiple different lives with these different people, all of which are surrounded by other lies.
Kashif and Naz did have a problematic marriage, but not for the reasons Kashif described. It was because Kashif turned away from his family, leaving them behind to be with Yelena, Antoinette, and others. When he did see his wife, he was abusive.
Did she ever tell you that he hit her?
Yeah, she said he hit me badly to my stomach. Then I said, why you didn't call the police? And she said, no. And I said, I'm your side. I can call the police.
Why did she say she didn't want to call the police?
Because she said it's like, oh, then he's angry, you know. And I don't want to go separate. Because if police involved, then we going to